So, hello everyone, and welcome to this webinar organized by RCPL So, first of all, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Kuldeep Singh Gosai, and I'm working as a corporate trainer. I've started my career as a software developer, and then I switched my profile in the field of training. And from last 15 years, I'm just working as a corporate trainer. And during my like career, I've trained near about more than 30,000 students, and I'm the part of FDP under the flag of E&ICT Academy IT Kanpur. So I just thank all my RCPL team members that they give me this wonderful opportunity to interact with you all. So as you already know the topic, so today we are going to discuss about the data management. So most of you just belong to computer science industry, and you already know the importance of data. Fine. So data is a backbone of all the modern things. So if you are a mechanical engineer, or you are a civil engineer, if you are a software engineer, or even though if you are a data scientist, so all of you are working around data. So data is very crucial, and data is like a backbone. So today I'll just give you an idea about the data management. And as soon as day by day, we know that data is growing, and if you'll not handle your data in a proper way, then you will not get the advantage of the modern technologies that we are using nowadays. So let me just show you a PPT, and then I'll just tell you each and everything about the data management. So please check it out. Let me share the screen. I think my screen is visible to you all. Okay, fine. So this is the agenda of our webinar. So first of all, I'll just give you an idea about what is actually the data management. Then we'll discuss in how many ways we can structure our data, followed by SQL. So you already know SQL. It is the language that we can use to perform interaction with our database server. Along with that, we'll discuss how the data is scalable in the modern application architecture, and why it is popular in web development. So as you already know that if you are building a website, so definitely you are working around some kind of data. Okay, so if we talk about your Flipkart or Amazon, these are just websites. These are like e-commerce website, and what these websites are doing in background, they are managing the data. They are managing the data of product. They are managing the data of the vendors, managing the data of the customers. So data management is very important. So if you just want to be a full stack developer in future, so definitely you need to know the importance of this data management. And topic is a bit theoretical, so I'm not going to show any practical implementation, because it's just you need to know what is data management and what are the various principles that you need to follow in this particular field. Then we'll discuss why it is popular in web development, followed by how we can integrate this data with our application. So you already know that whenever we just want to save our data for future purpose, so we are having two different approaches. Either we can use the concept of file handling, or we can use some kind of management system to store our data. Fine. So what is the advantage while using management system? Management system manage data on our behalf. And when we are using file handling, in that particular situation, you need to write the logic yourself. Okay, so you need to write logic about each and everything, how to store your data, how your data will be retrieved during the time of a query. But this is not in the case of RDBMS. So basically, RDBMS is actually a software that manage data on our behalf. Right, so we just have to provide data to these softwares, and these software automatically manage data and take care of storing and retrieval of data. Okay, so this is the agenda. So let me just show you. Let's complete the first agenda: foundation of data management. So before uh, working before knowing the statement. So I'll just give you an idea what this data management is all about. So if you want, you can just take the snapshot of these PPT as well. So what is actually data management and why it is important? According to your Data Management Association, it is actually the development of architecture, policies, practices, and procedure to manage the data lifecycle. So the definition is a bit complicated. Let me simplify it for you all. So in simple words, data management is actually the process of collecting, keeping, and using data in a cost-effective, secure, and efficient manner. So, data management help people and organizations to optimize data usage to make a better informed decision and just maximize the benefit of the organizations. So, if the data, if you are like trying to manage your data in a proper way, definitely you will get the advantage. And look at this. There are like a few key points that you all have to follow while working with data management. So the first point is how we quantify the data management principles. Okay, so there are actually like a few principles that you actually can follow while working with your data management part. Okay, so these principles are like very handy, and some of the principles are having the higher weightage than the other. But these principle that means the organization never follow all these principles. It just depend on the type of organization that we are involved with. So a few of the principles are like what we can do. First of all, the first principle we can consider like we can like creating, accessing, and we have to like regular update our data across the diverse data tier. So, storing data both on a single machine or on a cloud is important due to security reason. So, if you just store your data on your own premises, so there may be a situation where your data get lost due to some application or some drive failure. So, it is like a better practice to put your data on your premises and throughout the cloud as well. Fine. So providing both high availability and rapidly disaster recovery. So if you put your data on your drive and on the multiple cloud, so what advantage will you get? So it actually provide you high availability and rapid disaster recovery. So if your data is corrupt on one location, you can recover that data from different cloud locations. So using data is an like we can say we can just use and apply data by increasing the number of algorithms. We can perform analytic on our data. So what is actually advantage of applying algorithm analytics? So it actually ensure effective data privacy and data security. Fine. So data privacy and security is another important rule. And there may be a situation whenever like we recover data from some location, so data will actually become more diluted time by time. So once you have done with your data, and if the data is of no use, so you have to destroy that data as well, because the data actually acquire resource on your server. So if you are having some data modified data that you don't need in future, so better to remove that data from your server. So this is actually, we can say, the first principle that we need to follow. So in order to secure our data, we have to put data on our drive as well as on our servers. Okay, and there is like some data management best practices that you have to be follow. So whenever a data scientist is working on data, so data scientists face many challenges when setting up a successful data management system. So these practice that I'm going to discuss will actually offer you to address those obstacles and make it easier to implement an effective data management system. So, what are actually these best practices that you must have to follow as a data scientist? So, these practices, so one of is to identify your data by creating a discovery layer. So, discovery layer basically is a mechanism that we put on our data. So if we put like a discovery layer over our organization data tier, it actually enable data scientists and analysts to search and browse for useful data set. So this discovery layer is we can say kind of a software that actually help us while working with our data sets. So this is the first we can say practice that we need to follow when we are working with our data set. And we have these best practices. Now develop we can develop a data science environment to repurpose our data more efficiently. So data science environment actually automate a significant amount of activities. So you can just use some softwares like machine learning software in order to make your data more manageable. We can say this practice bring in tool that remove the need of manual data transformation. So जैसे आप लोग जानते हैं ना कि if जैसे whenever we traverse a e-commerce website, है ना? So whatever you whatever you surfing you'll do in that particular website, there is a program that track what product have you searched in your document. So there is actually a software or a program that take care of we can say the preferences of the user which is visiting the website. तो जैसे यहाँ पे ना whenever we surf Flipkart or Amazon, so there is a program which is working in background, जो background में work करता है, जो track करता है कि what product we have selected, and it actually maintain the history of our surfing. So कोई person वहाँ पे exist नहीं करता है. There is actually a program which is working behind the scene. Okay, so this is actually we can say a data science environment. This is a data science environment. Fine. So these websites are using the power of machine learning and artificial intelligence to make the process more simple. Fine. And the next important data management principle is identify your data by creating a discovery layer. Fine. And we already know that the first point is identification of data with the help of discovery layer. The second point we can consider develop a data scientist environment to reprocess our data. Okay. Now the third important point is maintenance. So we have to maintenance our performance level across our growing data set by using autonomous technologies. Fine. So जैसे आपका data grow करता है and if you'll just try to filter that data manually, it will take a lot of time. So better to use some kind of software for that purpose. Okay, so by bringing AI and machine learning methods to continuous monitor data and queries, so we can optimize our data in a more proper way. तो देखिए जैसे आप अपने डेटा पे query perform करते हैं, so हमेशा you will get a new data, है ना? So whenever you will get a new data, sometimes a new data is added to your collection as well. तो आप कैसे अपने डेटा का रिट्रीवल फास्ट कर सकते हैं by using some kind of software like indexing mechanism. Fine. So indexing, you already know that just speed up our search. So if you are having a huge amount of data and you haven't applied any kind of index on that data, so definitely the process will become more complex. Process ज़्यादा complex हो जाएगा. So what we can do by using some kind of AI and machine learning methods, we can apply indexes on our data. And अभी जो आपकी जो सॉफ्टवेयर आप यूज करेंगे, व्हाट इज एक्चुअली द एडवांटेज ऑफ दीज सॉफ्टवेयर? तो अगर आप इस सॉफ्टवेयर यूज नहीं करेंगे तो व्हाट विल हैपन, जब भी आपके डेटा सेट में एक नया डेटा ऐड होगा ना, सो यू रिक्वायर अ पर्सन, आपको एक पर्सन चाहिए जो उस इंडेक्स को बार बार क्या करेगा, अपडेट करेगा. सो वेन एवर अ न्यू डेटा is added in your collection, we need to rebuild our indexes. So instead of rebuilding indexes manually, we can just use some AI and ML tools over there, जो हमारे behalf पे हमारे डेटा को क्या करेगा, properly index करेगा. Fine. And the next important point about the data management best practice, just a minute. Okay, let me close this one for now. Okay, fine. And the next like important practice that you need to follow is to manage and integrate multiple data storage platform. फाइन. अब इसका एडवांटेज क्या है कि देखिए सपोज आई एम जस्ट लाइक गैदरिंग इंफॉर्मेशन फ्रॉम मल्टीपल डेटा स्टोर. सो मैं डेटा गैदर कर रहा हूँ एंड द डेटा इज अवेलेबल ऑन लाइक मल्टीपल डेटा स्टोर्स. सो हर एक डेटा को लाइक एक्सेस करने के लिए यू नीड अ डिफरेंट टाइप ऑफ क्वेरी मैकेनिज्म. फाइन. सो आपको एक क्वेरी मैकेनिज्म चाहिए उसके लिए. So what we can do, we can just like incorporate some kind of query layer. Fine. So we can manage and integrate multiple data storage platform with a common query layer. Okay, so how we can perform that? By employing a standard query layer that span the many kind of data storages. इसका एडवांटेज क्या होगा? डेटा स्टोर आपके मल्टीपल है, बट आप एक ही क्वेरी लैंग्वेज को यूज करोगे टू ग्रैब डेटा फ्रॉम मल्टीपल लोकेशंस. सो दिस इज अनदर एडेड एडवांटेज जो हम यूज कर सकते हैं इन अवर एप्लीकेशन. फाइन. अच्छा, अब यहाँ पे जो फाइनली एक पॉइंट और है, दैट इज डेटा मैनेजमेंट प्रोसेसेस एंड प्लान्स. तो डेटा मैनेजमेंट प्रोसेसेस और प्लान्स बेसिकली है क्या? So we can also like break down data management into like multiple distinct process. और ये प्रोसेसेस क्या है? जैसे कि द फर्स्ट प्रोसेस इज वी कैन से क्लाउड डेटा मैनेजमेंट. पहला आपका है क्लाउड डेटा मैनेजमेंट. देन सेकंड वन इज लाइक डेटा एनालिटिक एंड विजुअलाइजेशन. द थर्ड वन इज ETL and data integration. ETL stands for extraction, transformation, and loading. So ETL and data integration. And the fourth and one of the most important is like master data management. Okay, so these are like a few points, or we can say these are few data management process and plans. अब इनका मीनिंग क्या है? जैसे जो सब आपका जो फर्स्ट पॉइंट इट इज एक्चुअली द क्लाउड डेटा मैनेजमेंट. सो दिस इज अ प्रोसेस दैट इंटीग्रेट डेटा फ्रॉम ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस collection of data on a cloud application. So cloud data management like defining characteristics in that all data stores intake and process occur within a cloud based storage management. That means you have to like pick the data from different locations and you have to put it on your cloud. Okay. Second है आपका like data analytic and visualization. So this is another important thing. ये आपके डेटा मैनेजमेंट का एक नेक्स्ट इंपॉर्टेंट लाइक प्लान होता है. Fine. Data analytic and visualization. So we already know that analytic and visualization में होता क्या है? Suppose we are having a huge amount of data, and to analyze or we can say to understand that data in a proper way, we actually develop some kind of plot in that particular data. So process data from multiple data sources and data warehouses. And first of all, we have to process data from the multiple data sources and data warehouses, and then we perform advanced data analytic on that particular data. So this actually enables analysts and data scientists to present the data in a visualization and on dashboard. Fine. So यहाँ पे आपको मिलेगा data, and then you can use some kind of tools like your matplotlib and your pandas in order to process that data. अब आप जब डेटा को बेटर प्रोसेस करेंगे ना, इन दैट सिचुएशन यू कैन परफॉर्म बेटर एनालिसिस ऑन दैट पर्टिकुलर डेटा. ठीक है. इसके बाद इसमें एक पॉइंट और है आपका, दैट इज द ETL एंड डेटा इंटीग्रेशन. सो ETL इज बेसिकली एक्सट्रैक्शन, ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन एंड लोडिंग. तो जैसे सपोज यू आर ट्राइंग टू एक्सेस अ डेटा विच इज इनसाइड अ टेक्स्ट फाइल. जो आप डेटा एक्सेस करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं ना, वो डेटा सपोज आपकी किसी टेक्स्ट फाइल में एग्जिस्ट कर रहा है, and now you want to grab all that data and you want to store that data in a database. So in that situation we need ETL tools. So ETL tool help us to extract data, transform data, and then load data in our databases. तो यहाँ पे जैसे आप ओरेकल की बात करेंगे ना, सो वी आर हैविंग लॉट ऑफ अप्रोचेस. जैसे हमारे पास गोल्डन गेट नाम की फंक्शनैलिटी है. ओके. देन वी आर हैविंग SQL लोडर फॉर दैट पर्पस. वी आर हैविंग इंपोर्ट, एक्सपोर्ट एंड डेटा पंप्स लाइक यूटिलिटीज. तो इनका टास्क क्या होता है? डेटा को फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल एक्सट्रैक्ट करना फ्रॉम अ डेटा सोर्स, देन इसे ट्रांसफॉर्म करना अकॉर्डिंग टू द यूजर रिक्वायरमेंट, एंड फाइनली वी हैव टू लोड दैट डेटा in our memory. So extraction, transformation, and loading data from different data sources in a centralized data warehouse. और फिर centralized data warehouse से हम लोग data distribute करते हैं अपनी application को. Fine. And there's one more point in a data management process, and it is like we can say master data management. So in master data management, we actually manage and standardize organizational data. अभी organizational data क्या होता है? Data related to a customer or data related to an employee. Okay. So in this master data management, we actually manage and standardize organizational data to prevent redundancy and duplication of effort across the organizations. ठीक है. तो देखिए यहाँ पे if you are having like a huge amount of data in your system और वो data आपके पास duplicate है. Fine. So जितना ज्यादा duplicate data होगा, definitely that data will acquire much data space of your server. वो ज्यादा data space acquire करेगा. So in order to make our data consistent, in order to like make our data free from redundancy, we have to like take some actions. So data management में basically आपके ये 4 to 5 points आते हैं. Fine. जैसे आपका जो एक पॉइंट है that is the managing our data management or master database management, data management. Second, the integration of ETL tools. Then we are having data analytic and visualization process, and there is one more cloud data management. So these are like 4 important points that you can use to manage your data in a proper way or to create a plan for your application. Okay. Now, as we all know that there are like a variety of database systems available in the market, और हर एक database का एक different purpose होता है. So like just give me a moment. So if you're having any queries, you can just drop your message in the chat window. Fine. Okay, so you all are allowed to like share your doubt as well, and please don't draw such kind of like, yeah, just give me a moment. Give me a moment, huh? So fine. So now we have covered these points. So now you are having a better idea what is the data management and what are the different principles that we can use under data management. Now the second slide is a bit important. So this slide actually describe the different types of database management system that are available in market. Fine. अच्छा, जो ये आपका डेटाबेस है ना, इसका एग्जिस्टेंस 1960 से पहले से एग्जिस्टेंस में है. सो डेटाबेस इज इन एक्सिस्टेंस फ्रॉम बिफोर 1960. सो इनिशियली जो आपके डेटाबेस थे ना, वो डेटाबेस लाइक फॉलो करते थे आपके कोडेसेल अप्रोच को. So Codacil stands for Conference of Data System Languages. Okay, so ये Codacil approach है, इस approach को standardize किया था चार्ल्स बैचमैन ने. चार्ल्स बैचमैन is a person that standardized the COBOL programming language. Fine. So in the list of these data set, hierarchical and network databases are the two databases that comes under the category of Codacil approach. So these databases actually use a linked list mechanism in background. Fine. जो आपका hierarchical database होता है, it is just we can say a tree-like structure where the relationship between the parent and child is one to many. So multiple node can have only one parent, and one parent can have more than one child. So जो hierarchical databases होते हैं, this database supports Codacil approach. Fine. And these type of database use linked lists in background. And there is one more like we can say version of Codacil approach, and that is the network databases. So network databases use the functionality of graphs. So network databases में like one to many relationship होती है among the parent and the child. So the network models are like a bit complex than the hierarchical database models. So जो older databases थे, they work on these on the codicil approach, fine. जहाँ पे आपका hierarchical database आता है and जहाँ पे आपका network databases आता है. So these two are the oldest databases. Okay. Then after network databases, there's a person name like EF Cord. EF Cord, है ना, that actually give like a 12 rules for the databases. So previously, all the database use codicil approach for their existence. But from relational database, जो आपका जब आपका RDBMS में introduce हुआ, then in RDBMS, so the concept of linked list is not used. So EF Cord just proposed a new concept of like tables. Fine. So all the databases that are basically RDBMS use tables to store its data. Fine. जो ORDBMS है, it is actually the enhanced form of RDBMS where you can store audio, video, your images, and all the new object as well. Fine. So previous relational databases they can only like work with textual information, but the ORDBMS is the enhanced form of relational database where you can store audio, video, and images. Fine. So, like the example of hierarchical and network databases is IMS. Example of object-oriented databases and relational databases are your MS Access, your Oracle, SQL Server. We are having MySQL, fine, so, DB2. So there are a lot of like databases, RDBs in the market. And now we are having one more category of databases, and these are the NoSQL databases. So NoSQL databases are the databases that actually don't use tabular mechanism. So they actually use other different approaches to store this data. For example, if we talk about Cassandra, if we talk about like MongoDB, so these are NoSQL databases. Fine. Now, what is actually the difference between the relational and the NoSQL databases? So relational databases actually work on the mechanism of online transaction processing. And NoSQL databases are like popular in the situation where you have to work with online analytical processing. Fine. So what is actually the meaning of these two environment, OLAP and OLTP? So online transaction processing. So suppose if you are just working with a set of data where each and every record is important for you. Fine. Suppose you are like working with a banking transaction. So in a second, like millions of transactions are there. And if a single transaction is missed during the time of operation, it is a very big problem. So online transactional processing where each and every record is important for the application, right? Like the banking applications and the insurance sector. And the second category is online analytical processing. So in analytical processing, we are having a huge amount of data. Okay, तो वहां पे डेटा लॉस से बेसिकली हमें कोई लाइक परेशानी नहीं है. फाइन. Suppose I'm just working. I'm just like owner of that e-commerce website where I'm collecting like information, or we can say where I'm collecting the data of each and every visitor which is visiting my website. Okay, so suppose I'm just I'm visitor of Amazon from last 4 years. तो Amazon देखिए जब भी मैं सर्व करता हूँ ना, Amazon just collect the information of my each visit. और सपोज सिचुएशन ऐसी है कि बाय एक्सीडेंटली मेरे एक मंथ का डेटा अमेजोन से सपोज रिमूव हो गया. सो अमेजोन को इससे फर्क नहीं पड़ता. फाइन. सो दे एक्चुअली वेयर द वी कैन से डेटा इज like not important. Fine. Where you just have to work with huge amount of data, जहां पे आपका डेटा लॉस होने से कोई आपको नुकसान नहीं है. In that situation, we have to use like NoSQL databases. So NoSQL databases actually used to like work with like vast amount of data, जहां पे डेटा लॉस होने से या डेटा डुप्लीकेट होने से आपको कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. Fine. But if you just want to if you want to like save your every transaction, if every like a piece of data is important for you, in that situation we have to use OLTP, or we can say the DBMSs. Fine. If you just want to work with huge amount of data, where the duplicacy of data and we can say the security of data doesn't matter, so you can use the concept of no SQL databases over there. Fine. So these are like the different data management systems. So generally, nowadays we are working on DBMS when we are dealing with online transactional processing, and we are using NoSQL databases whenever we just want to work with huge amount of data, where our application is not affected by the duplicacy or the loss of data. Fine. So these are basically different database management system that are available in the market. Okay. Now, after that, the next important point is like SQL compatibility. So, as you all know that SQL is a programming language that is used to perform interaction between the database server and the client end. So, if you just want to perform some kind of query on your database server, in that situation, we use SQL. और ये RDBMS का एक advantage भी है. So all the RDBMS support SQL. That means if you know how to work on Oracle, the similar command, the similar language also work for SQL Server, for DB2, and like for your MySQL. So all RDBMS follow same SQL. That means you need not to like learn SQL every time for different RDBMSs. But when we are dealing with NoSQL databases, every NoSQL database have its own way of like extracting data. So अगर आपको like MongoDB आता है, तो जो MongoDB की query है ना, वो आपके Cassandra में work नहीं करेगी. Fine. So Cassandra actually use a different query environment. But this is not in case of RDBMS. RDBMS में advantage क्या है? So all the RDBMS follow SQL. So if you know SQL, so you can use that particular language in order to perform interaction with all the other RDBMS in the market. Fine. तो SQL Oracle के लिए भी same है, MySQL के लिए भी same है, DB2 के लिए भी same है. Fine. So all the RDBMS support SQL. So SQL is compatible. So suppose if you are working on Oracle and now you just want to like switch to DB2, so ज़्यादा difficulty नहीं होगी because both DB2 and Oracle follow same SQL language. But if you are working on Cassandra and now you just want to move on MongoDB, तो यहाँ पे differences है because Cassandra का query mechanism जो है ना, it is totally different from the query language of your MongoDB. Fine. So there are certain advantages and certain disadvantages of these two database competitors. Now, जो मैंने आपको बताया, it is actually SQL compatibility. There is one more thing, compatibility को हम एक और वे में consider कर सकते हैं. So please check it out. Compatibility levels refer to the way. Suppose I'm just working on a 2012 version of SQL Server, okay, and now I just want to upgrade my SQL Server to 2019. Okay, so there is actually far much difference between these two database servers. Now, we are having an approach by which we can switch to 2019. So please read out the statement. So let's say example. So you have an application running on SQL Server 2012. Okay, but now you need to upgrade to SQL Server 19 because support is ending soon. Fine. Now I just want to perform a compatibility between 2019 and 2012. So everything run great on SQL Server 2012 and the application has not been updated in many years. And now I just want to update my system to 2019. Okay. So क्या ये work करेगा? So we are having a lot of approaches for this purpose. So to ease the translation, whenever we migrate to 2019, you could consider leaving the database in SQL Server 2012 compatibility level. Fine. तो हम 19 में अपग्रेड कर सकते हैं और हम 2012 के डेटा को ही 19 में भी यूज कर सकते हैं. But there are like certain disadvantages. If you are like leveling your database server 2012 compatibility level, सो 12,000 के बाद जितने भी लाइक फीचर्स आएंगे ना, दैट फीचर्स लाइक रिमेन अनअवेलेबल ऑन योर न्यूअर वर्जन. सो दिस इज एक्चुअली डाउन साइड. सो यहाँ पे जो कंपेटेबिलिटी का मतलब है, द कंपेटेबिलिटी मीनिंग यहाँ पे टू डिफरेंट वेज में है. सो हाउ एसक्यूएल इज कंपेटेबल अलोंग द डिफरेंट डिफरेंट डेटाबेसेस. और जो सेकंड कंपेटेबिलिटी है वो, सपोज इफ यू वांट टू अपग्रेड योर सिस्टम फ्रॉम फ्रॉम अ लोअर वर्जन टू अपर वर्जन. फाइन. सो जितने भी डेटाबेसेस हैं ये लाइक बैकवर्ड कंपेटेबिलिटी को सपोर्ट करते हैं. फाइन. सो सो द एडवांटेज ऑफ एसक्यूएल यू ऑलरेडी नो दैट. ओके. नाउ जो थर्ड पॉइंट है एजेंडा का, इट इज लाइक द स्केलेबिलिटी एंड द परफॉर्मेंस. फाइन. सो जो सिस्टम्स होते हैं, डेटाबेस सिस्टम्स होते हैं, दे आर एक्चुअली स्केलेबल in two different ways. Either you can scale them vertically or you can scale them horizontally. So what is actually the meaning of vertical scalable and horizontal scalable? Fine. So generally जितने हमारे RDBMS होते हैं ना, so most of the RDBMS are vertically scalable. That means if you just want to make a powerful system, what you can do, you can add more machines to your system. ठीक है. जैसे आपको अपने सिस्टम का परफॉर्मेंस enhance करना है, what you can do, you can add more hard drive, you can add more processors. Okay, you can add like a more RAM to your existing machine. इसे हम कहते हैं vertically scalable. फाइन. सो जो vertically scalable है ना, ये थोड़ा कॉस्टली होता है. फाइन. सो इफ यू आर हैविंग अ सुपर कंप्यूटर, तो उसका कॉस्ट ज्यादा आएगा एज कंपेयर टू इफ यू आर वर्किंग विद 100 स्मॉल मशीन्स. तो ये जो वर्टिकल स्केलेबल है ना, ये आरडीबीएमएस में यूज होता है. और जो हॉरिजॉन्टल स्केलेबल नेचर है, ये यूज होता है नो एसक्यूएल डेटाबेसेस में. फाइन. सो जैसे आपके पास सपोज इफ यू आर हैविंग अ स्मॉल मशीन, इफ यू वांट टू लाइक अप स्केल योर मशीन, व्हाट यू कैन डू, आप वहां पे एक छोटी मशीन और ले आएंगे और आप इन दोनों मशीन्स को आपस में ज्वाइन कर देंगे. दिस इज व्हाट वी कॉल्ड हॉरिजॉन्टल स्केलेबल. फाइन. तो जो हॉरिजॉन्टल स्केलेबल होता है, ये क्या होता है, ये कॉस्ट इफेक्टिव होता है. फाइन. जो आपके वर्टिकल स्केलेबल मशीन्स होती हैं, दीज आर मोर कॉस्टली. सो इफ यू जस्ट वांट टू enhance your like a single machine, what you have to do, you have to buy heavy processors, you have to buy more hard drive. Fine. And if you just want a horizontal scalability, then आप small machines को एक grid form में add कर देते हैं. ओके. अच्छा, यहाँ पे कुछ इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट्स हैं जो आपको पता होने चाहिए. सो देयर इज एक्चुअली अ थ्योरम, एंड द नेम ऑफ थ्योरम इज कैप थ्योरम. कैप, सी स्टैंड्स फॉर कंसिस्टेंसी, अवेलेबिलिटी एंड पार्टीशन टॉलरेंस. दीज आर द थ्री इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट. फाइन. सो प्लीज चेक इट आउट. कंसिस्टेंसी, दैट मीन्स जो डेटा होगा ना, data need to be consistent. So if your data is scattered over multiple machine, if you make a change in one data source, so जितनी भी remaining copy है ना, उनमें सब जगह change हो जाना चाहिए. Fine. Availability means data is available थ्रू आउट द सिस्टम. अगर आपका एक मशीन फेल हो जाता है, सो यू कैन एक्सेस दैट पर्टिकुलर डेटा फ्रॉम अनदर मशीन. एंड पार्टीशन टॉलरेंस मींस अगर आपके पास 1,000 मशीन्स हैं, इफ लाइक 10 ऑफ द मशीन गॉट वेस्टेड, अगर आपके 10 ऑफ द मशीन क्या हो गया, फेल हो गया, स्टिल आपका सिस्टम वर्क करेगा. फाइन. अब ये कैप थ्योरम क्या कहती है, व्हाट इज लाइक द मीनिंग ऑफ कैप थ्योरम? सो ऑफ द थ्री प्रॉपर्टी ऑफ शेयर डेटा सिस्टम, data consistency, data availability, and data tolerance, only two can be achieved at any point of time. Fine. So अगर आप लाइक किसी ओएस, किसी भी डेटाबेस सिस्टम पे वर्क कर रहे हैं, सो आउट ऑफ दीज थ्री प्रॉपर्टीज, आपका डेटाबेस एट अ टाइम दो ही प्रॉपर्टी को लाइक अवेल कर सकता है. फाइन. सो इफ यू आर डीलिंग विद आरडीबीएमएस, सो आरडीबीएमएस हमें देता है consistency and availability. Okay, because RDBMS actually use a single server, so data is not scattered around the system. तो एक ही मशीन में सारा डेटा रहता है, तो डेटा यहाँ पे हमेशा कैसा रहेगा, कंसिस्टेंट रहेगा. इफ यू मेक चेंज इन दैट पर्टिकुलर डेटा, वो आपके सिस्टम में चेंज हो जाएगा. अवेलेबिलिटी मीन्स आपका डेटा हमेशा अवेलेबल रहेगा जब तक कि वो सर्वर एग्जिस्ट करता है. इफ वी आर लाइक वर्किंग विद MongoDB, तो MongoDB में आपको अवेलेबिलिटी नहीं मिलती है. इन MongoDB you can like have consistency and partition tolerance. Okay, so MongoDB actually use vertically scalable horizontal scalable mechanism. So suppose if you are having 3 machine, आप एक मशीन में चेंज करेंगे तो सेम डेटा को दूसरी मशीन में चेंज होने में टाइम लगता है. So most of the time, suppose you are trying to access a data which is being modified on one machine, तो दूसरी मशीन तक पहुंचने में उसे टाइम लगेगा. और इन बिटवीन अगर किसी ने उसे रीड कर लिया, so that person will get inconsistent data. So when we are dealing with MongoDB, तो MongoDB में आपको अवेलेबिलिटी नहीं मिलती है. ओके, आपको मिलेगी कंसिस्टेंसी, आपको मिलेगा पार्टीशन टॉलरेंस, बट यू विल नॉट गेट अवेलेबिलिटी. एंड व्हेन वी आर वर्किंग विद कैसेंड्रा एंड DynamoDB, वहां पे हमें कंसिस्टेंसी नहीं मिलेगी. देयर विल गेट अवेलेबिलिटी एंड पार्टीशन टॉलरेंस. फाइन. So this is a cap theorem. It is like very important when you just want to like work with the like different type of databases. So if you don't require partition tolerance, you can use RDBMS. If you don't require consistency, you can use CouchDB, Cassandra, and DynamoDB. If you don't want availability, so in that situation, you can use MongoDB, HBase, and Redis like database systems. So this is a simple cap theorem, right? After cap theorem, now we are having one more important agenda. Why data is popular in web development? Data क्यों popular है web development में? Fine. So as it is mentioned in the PPT, so data management system play a crucial role in web development, serving as the backbone of dynamic and data-driven website. So here are some important point that are important for all of us. Fine. So please check out the first point. Why data management is popular in web development. So जैसे मैंने आपको बताया ना, if you are dealing with the website, definitely you are managing data with the help of that particular website. ठीक है. अगर आप if you are building an employee management system, so you are managing the data of employee behind the scene. If you are working on an ERP, definitely you are managing some kind of data behind the scene. So these are some important points that make data management popular among the web development. So the first point is data storage and retrieval. Fine. So the purpose of database is to store and organize a large amount of data ranging from user information to the product detail. So this structured structure store enable us efficiently the retrieval and the manipulation of data. So it ensures the quick response time for the user. So अगर आप database management system use नहीं करेंगे, so it become very difficult to manage your data. Fine. So जैसे मैंने आपको बताया था ना, if you are using file handling for managing your data, so for each and every purpose you need to write some code. But if you are using some kind of data storage, or you can say DBMS behind the scene, that manage data on your behalf. Fine. Second important point है यहाँ पे dynamic content. So if we talk about web application, so web application often require dynamic content that can change. That change can based on user input and other user preferences. अब जैसे आप बात करते हैं जीमेल की, फाइन. सो जीमेल हमें एक फंक्शनलिटी ऑफर करता है. वी कैन कस्टमाइज द लुक एंड फील ऑफ आवर जीमेल अकाउंट. हम वहां पे अपनी कस्टमाइज थीम यूज कर सकते हैं that make our Gmail account looks different from other person account. So these are a few of the features जिसे basically manage करने के लिए हम background में data use करते हैं. So to manage the profile of a user, we can use this data management system. So where there is a requirement of dynamic content, there we have to use database management system behind the scene. Now, second important point, user authentication. Fine. So in website, there are some pages that need authentication. तो कुछ पेजेस होते हैं ना जहां पे हमें अगर हमें उन्हें सर्व करना है, so we have to perform authentication. We have to provide username and password in order to serve that particular page. So वो username और password आप store कहाँ करेंगे? Definitely in some kind of database behind the scene. Fine. So user authentication के लिए आपको use करना होता है your database management. Fine. Then the fourth point यहाँ पे लिखा है scalability. Fine. So as your website grow, जैसे आपका website grow होता है, so definitely the volume of data will grow with that. No? So as the website grow, so does the volume of the data is needed to be handled. So database offer scalability by allowing your developer to scale data either horizontally or vertically. तो database management system ही आपको एक functionality देता है by which you can scale your data either vertically or horizontally. And if you're not having database system working behind the scene, it is very difficult to scale your data. So scalability के लिए we need data management. Fine. Then consistency and integrity. For example, if I am sharing data between two tables, मैं दो tables के among data share कर रहा हूँ. Fine. So to avoid our data from being inconsistent, we are having some type of constraints. जैसे आपने पढ़े होंगे constraints database में primary key, foreign key, check, unique, and not null. These are like a certain constraint that help us in managing our data. It actually help us to reduce data inconsistency and it maintain the integrity of our application. तो दो टेबल्स के बीच में आपको किसी डेटा को कंसिस्टेंट रखना है, so we can use the concept of foreign keys. Okay. And efficient data relationship with the help of foreign key, you can establish a communication between more than one tables. So these are actually a few important. Data security is important. So if you want to secure your table data, so we can use the concept of DCL. जिससे अपने database में whenever we are talking about query, so query is a collection of we can say 5 subcategories. That is DDL, DML, TCL, DCL, and DQL. And if we'll talk about DCL, this will stand for Data Control Language. So database is actually having a power to restrict the access to the unauthorized user. So you can apply some kind of rules and regulations on your data so the unauthorized user cannot access your data. Fine. So data security आपको आपका database provide करता है. Fine. And now we are having concept of CMS. So there are a lot of we can say content management system that help us to manage our data. So जितने भी आपके CMS होते हैं ना, CMS actually work over data. So if you don't have a effective data management system working behind the scene, CMS आपका work नहीं करेगा. Fine. Optimize and query performance. So database में whenever you run a query in your database, there is actually a query optimizer which works in background. So the task of query optimizer is to optimize your query in a proper way, जिससे उसके retrieval में और उसके processing में कम time लगता है. So every database server is having execution which is working behind. And execution have a lot of optimization algorithm inside it. So whenever you write a query, your database system optimize that query and enhance the performance of your query. Fine. And finally, data analysis reporting. So along with databases, or we can say database systems, there are a lot of tools that we can use to generate a different type of report on our data. अब जैसे बात करते हैं हम Oracle की, so फिर we are having a report, Oracle report utility that we can use to generate report. Even though अगर हम बात करते हैं किसी भी table की, and if you want to retrieve meaningful information out of that table, in that situation we have to use the concept of SQL. SQL means specifically DQL. And what is DQL? DQL stands for data query language. And in DQL we are having only one statement, and the statement is select statement. And what is the purpose of select statement? Purpose of select statement is a data analysis and to generate report over a data. So if you don't have any database system working behind the scene, so ये data manage करने के लिए आपको ये features आपको नहीं मिलेंगे. Fine. So data management of data and management systems are very important in web development. Fine. So that's why ye kafi popular. It is quite popular. Fine. And finally, if you want to like integrate a database in your environment, so database integration is quite simple. So first of all, data integration may we have to extract data. So first of all, what we have to do, we have to extract data. If you want to develop a website, आपको कोई website बनाना है, and if you want to save the data of that particular website in some kind of data store, so definitely you will require a database management system behind the scene, right? So this is actually these are the few points that are very important related to the integration. The first point is, first of all, we have to like identify sources from where we can extract data. तो अगर आपको अपनी वेबसाइट के लिए डेटा चाहिए, तो first of all you have to identify the source from where you have to extract the data. So finding the correct web source that provide business insight is the first step before gathering data. Fine. So what we can do, we can just evaluate the quality of the data source. So data collect करने से पहले हमें data source की quality को evaluate करना होता है. Fine. What is the actually the meaning of evaluate the quality? For example, I want to check is the data is accurate in every aspect, and does the data source include enough information that is required for my application? Okay, what is actually the extent of the information? Okay, is it on per our requirement? Fine. So these are like a few points that we have to like take care of before like integrating our application with the data source. Second है यहाँ पे extract web data. तो data आप extract कैसे करेंगे? So there are numerous approaches. Okay. So now first of all जब हमें पता चल गया हमारा data proper है, so after that, what we have to do, we have to use different ETL tools. हम ETL tool use कर सकते हैं डेटा को extract करने के लिए, या फिर हम web scraping use कर सकते हैं. Fine. If you are like developing an application जो आपको stock market के tickers provide करता है, so what we have to do in that situation, we have to use web scraping. Web scraping is basically a way by which you can like retrieve data from an ongoing website, and you can utilize that data in your application. And second approach is, if your data reside in a text file or in some kind of Excel sheet, in that situation you have to use ETL tool. आप ETL tool use कर सकते हैं अपने data को extract करने के लिए. And once the data is extracted, now we have to prepare a data. Those who are familiar with machine learning, उन्हें already पता है कि यहाँ पे data preparation का क्या importance होता है. Fine. So data preparation is one of the most difficult tasks. And for data preparations, we are having a lot of approaches. So in data preparation, what we have to do, first of all, we have to prepare our web data. We have to like find and combine all the relevant web data. Okay, now we have to like trace out, is there any issue in our data? And if there is an issue, then we have to fix it to make our data more accurate for our data set. Okay, and if there is any like unnecessary or outlier in our data, we have to remove it. And after the preparation of data, now we can like access that data with the help of APIs. Okay, so just say suppose मैं एक website develop कर रहा हूँ and I want to like gather the information for that particular website. So I just need to connect my database, need to connect my website with some kind of database. Fine, हमें इसे connect करना होगा. And for connecting, we are having APIs. For example, if you are working in a Python application and you want to access data from your MySQL, then in that situation, we need MySQL API, MySQL driver. If you want to establish connection with Oracle, in this situation, we need Oracle API. If you just want to work with SQLite 3, in that situation, we need API of SQLite 3. And what are these API? API are just files that contains classes and methods inside it. So these classes and methods just are, we can say, they act as a bridge between the एप्लीकेशन एंड द डेटाबेस। तो जो आपका पाइथन एनवायरनमेंट है ना, उसका कोड बिल्कुल डिफरेंट है। जो आपका डेटाबेस है उसका कोड बिल्कुल डिफरेंट है। तो वी कैन से टू मेक दीज टू like layer compatible, we need a bridge between these two environment, and API act as a bridge. Fine. And along with that, nowadays आपको यहाँ पे SQL query नहीं लिखनी पड़ती है। We are having different like ORM tools that we can use to perform interaction between our database server and our web applications. Right. So these are like a few important point related to the data management. Fine. So data manage कैसे करना है, and what are the different types of databases in the market, how the SQL is compatible, how you can scale your data. So data can be scaled either vertically or horizontally. And finally, what is actually the CAP theorem is all about. Then why this data management is popular in web development. And once you are having your data, how you can integrate that data in your application. Okay. So this was actually a brief description. So it is like quite a vast topic, and I cannot cover this topic just in 1 hour. So I just provided you the basic insight what this data management is all about. Fine. So this is just the basic concept regarding the data management. So it's all from my side. And if you just want to learn some more important thing, so you can just visit this particular website. Please check it out. Let me do one thing. Uh, so this is actually a website where we are offering some courses, and these are like very important courses that can shape up your future. Let me just show you this website. So RCPL India, as you all know, that is one of the leading training company in India. So we are providing some winter training programs, and please check out these programs. Just give it a look. Fine, please. I'll just share this link in the chat box, and please visit this website. So here we are having a lot of courses. Please check it out on the reasonable rates. So if you're interested in mobile development, then we are having a course of app development with Android. If you just want to work with artificial intelligence, so we are having a course on AI as well. So these courses you can go with these courses during the month of November, December, January, February. So all the details are mentioned in this particular website. Kindly visit this website, and you can like pick any course of your choice. So look at this. Competitive coding is the like now popular nowadays. So whenever you are just going for an interview call, and there are a lot of competitive coding programs over there. So these programs just help you to develop your skill in field of coding. If you just want to be a cyber security expert, so it's one of the top demanding course nowadays in the market. Full stack development is forever. Fine. So they actually give a kick start to your career. So here we are having like a option of PHP, and there are a lot of other things under this full stack. If you just want a core programmer, we are having the concept of Java as well. So Java is one of the most important object-oriented programming language. So that actually help us in solving real world issues. Fine. अगर आपको कोई real world concept derive करना है, so you can use the concept of Java. Along with that, machine learning is quite a popular nowadays. If you just want to be a software developer, so the first stepping stone is Python. So Python is popular nowadays. So if you are having like a small knowledge in field of programming, so even though Python is one of the most popular programming language nowadays due to its simplicity. So if you just want to be a website developer, or you want to like explore the field of machine learning, so the first step you have to go through Python. Fine. So there are two different versions of Python available in this winter training program. The first one is Python Basic and Advanced, and the second one is the Python for Data Science. In data science, there are like few important libraries that are very helpful. while working with data analysis. And like these libraries are NumPy, SciPy. We're having Plotly, Dash, Seaborn, along with that scikit-learn if you just want to work with machine learning. So these are like a few courses that RCPL is offering in this winter training program. Kindly visit this link. And one more thing, so for the seminar, we are actually having a certificate. The certification is actually optional. If you want a certification for this particular seminar, let me show you. So just a minute. So here I'm having a sorry. Here I'm having a link. So if you just want a certificate, so there is a small fee of 59 rupees. So in 59 rupees, you can just grab the certificate and add the certificate in your CV. So let me share this certification link. So if you all are interested, it's optional, fine, it's not mandatory. But if you want a certification for this particular seminar, just please visit this web link, and you need to fill your detail properly. Okay, and after 10 days, you will get your certificate. After 10 working days, you will get your certificate. Please visit this particular website. So if you want a certification, so you need to fill all your details, and detail need to be like uh, correct. Fine. So just write your name carefully, your email address carefully. Fine, and then you have to like pay only 59 rupees in order to grab a certificate on this particular webinar. Fine. Now, it's all from my side. If you're having any doubt, any query, so you can just drop your message in the chat box. Yeah, please don't hesitate to ask your doubt if you're having any query related to the courses that I have like shown, or if you're having any issue related to the content that I've covered in the webinar, you can just drop your messages. Okay, fine. So if you want a certification, please just I've already like provided you the link. Let me paste this link one more time. The person who have recently joined. So this is the link of the certification registration form. So no queries. Fine. Okay. So thank you so much. That's all from my side. If you are having any query, please drop your messages. I'm still in the group. Now it's your time to talk, ask the questions. Okay, thank you so much. So that's all from my side. So thank you so much. That's all from my side. So hopefully we'll meet in another webinar. And if you just want to join this winter training program, please visit the link that I've shared in the chat box. So thank you so much. That's all from my side. So definitely we'll meet in another session. Okay, fine. So take care. Fine. So goodbye and take care of your health. Thank you so much. Bye. Okay, fine. You all can leave the session for now. I'm going to Yeah, I'm turning off this meeting. Thank you, all of you.